This spice has been used for over 4,000 years in traditional medicine, and now modern science confirms its benefits for joint pain, memory, and even heart health. Find out what it is right after this. Welcome, everybody. I'm your host, Scott Patton, and joining us as usual is health coach Martin Patella of www.life-enthusiast.com. This is the Life Enthusiast online radio and TV network, restoring vitality to you and the planet. And we're going to be talking about a very special spice in a minute. But before we do, I have to share something with you, and it's this little product right here. Some of you may know that I'm traveling the world, and right now I am in the Philippines. And 2 days ago, I went caving for the first time, which is basically climbing down steep cliffs, seeing underground rivers, and going through very, very teeny holes or spaces between rocks in order to get to the other end. 5 hours I was underground.
Yeah, I tell you, a little Filipino woman that's 97 pounds can squeeze through there, and you, not so much. You're the size of the two of them. Hey, look, George has showed up, and he tells us that he lived in the Philippines for 26 years.
Wow, awesome. Well, you'll appreciate this then, George, because the only time I hurt myself was when I didn't listen to the guide. There's a lesson there somewhere. And I smacked the back of my hand and I smacked my elbow. And then I, washed it out. They bled. I let them bleed out. And then I kind of just didn't do anything. And part of it, is right, is because I'm always curious, right? Because we've got, without the antibiotics, everyone would die and blah, 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 blah. And I'm kind of the feeling that if you're relatively healthy, you're probably going to be okay 99% of the time. So what happened to my elbow, of course, was it got infected. And I'm not going to show it to you, but there's a line here and it had little pussy stuff coming out of it. And my hand was sort of the same thing. So I'm in love with oregano, oil of oregano. So I put some oil of oregano on both, and then I put this magic skin sorcery trauma complex. I do not travel the world without it. And within hours, the pus was basically all gone. And it's working like magic, like sorcery. So, Martin, I don't know if you want to talk for a minute about
how it's
made.
Yeah, the trauma gel is phenomenal in that it's capable of building new skin where there are openings. It helps a wound that's an opening to heal itself, close up. And by the way, the new version of it is on the design board. And there's a new company that I'm actually trying to help raise funds for. So if you're listening to it and are interested in being at the founding level, alpha investment round for a company that's probably worth $1 billion, call me, join me, find me. Indeed, we can do something interesting. Anyway, this product has helped heal so many wounds. Stuff that won't heal, bed ulcers and other awful unhealing things. So worth having. Anyway, let's talk about the turmeric.
Oh, you gave it away. We hadn't told him what the spice was.
Oh, shoot.
So, Martin, what is turmeric?
Well, so curcuma, which is the name of the plant in Latin, is the base of curry. It looks a lot like ginger, but rather than being yellow, it's deeply, deeply orange. And if you see curcumin, which is a concentrated extract from ginger, it's a most wonderful, deep, warm, red-orange color. So the plant itself is a godsend, as is ginger, by the way. Ginger is an awesome stimulant. It helps to revive things that are lagging in age or activity. The turmeric is awesome because it's really rich as an antioxidant.
Mm.
Well, it has many, many little components, terpenes, this and that to it. So it's not just like, vitamin C is an antioxidant, vitamin A is an antioxidant, and turmeric is a complex plant that helps to undo damage caused by oxidation, which essentially is aging. So anything and everything that comes with time and wear and tear, turmeric will help with.
So you brought up ginger, Martin. So I want to ask you this. Are they the same?
Well, no,
Ginger and
they're similar in a way as apple and pear is similar. They are, they look very similar, but one is yellow and the other one is orange, and one has got this gingery, bitey taste to it that, I don't know, I love ginger.
Yeah, me too.
Chinese food, stir fry with ginger, fish on garlic and ginger. It's wonderful.
And Indian curries have the turmeric.
That's right. And they may even have ginger with it as well.
Right.
And so this
Cool.
turmeric, here's an important point, and that's this. You need to cook with ginger. Pardon me, I misspoke. I meant turmeric. You need to cook with fat, like coconut oil or butter or stuff like that, that you will cook that curry with, because you need to combine the chemistry of the antioxidant with the chemistry of the fats. When you do that, you have phenomenal benefits. If you chew on turmeric roots just on its own, not so much.
Right. Yeah, so there's synergy. It's not just one thing. Cool. So we're going to quickly go over 5 of the major health benefits. I'm going to list them right now, and then we'll deal with them one by one. First, you've already brought it up, anti-inflammatory. Second, boosts brain health. Third, heart health. Fourth, immune support. And a digestive aid is the 5th one. So
Right.
Do we need to talk any more about well, first of all, reduces joint pain and stiffness.
Right. Well, remember, redness, heat, swelling, pain, and loss of function are the 5 symptoms of inflammation. And inflammation is the activity that your body will push in onto anything that's damaged. And so stuff that is damaged and is continually being damaged some more will be constantly inflamed. So an old man will have an arthritic knee because he's constantly in the mode of repair. Your body, your immune system is trying to repair it, but is failing.
Right. So this will help with the healing.
Right. And it's the immunity that it will strengthen, thereby making you less susceptible to the whatever stuff comes our way. Curry is one of those ways that lets you cook food in such a way that even bacteria and whatever else might like to contaminate your food will be greatly diminished.
And that's one of the reasons that they use it so much in India, right? I mean, for 5,000 years, they didn't have refrigerators. Right. So how did they keep the meat and the vegetables and everything they cooked from spoiling? Yeah. They used the spice.
Antioxidants. Antioxidants prevent the spoilage.
Right. So would it have an impact on chronic conditions that people might have? There's a lot of chronic disease going around.
Right. So we have pain that is either acute or chronic, right? Acute is it happened right now and it hurts right now. And then the chronic is, and it's not getting better, and it's a month or 2 and 3 later and it's still hurting. And that's chronic pain. It's still the same principle. The same principle is inflammation. It's the side effect of your body trying to fix it.
And it's just constantly trying to fix it because it's not really getting better.
Right. It's the battle between the force of decay and force of repair. And at some point you start losing it.
Right.
Yeah.
That's a good way of putting it. You're losing the battle when you're chronically ill. and you need to change it.
Yep.
What about the brain health? It boosts brain. I hadn't heard that before.
Well, again, same thing. Oxidative stress causes diminished function, right? Like it's oxidative stress wherever it may be. If you have a headache or tinnitus or tinnitus, some people pronounce it, or whatever else, migraine, piercing pain in the forehead, God knows what you may have. All of those are symptoms of essentially the body trying to repair itself. And we're going to help it a great deal when we give it the repair tools and antioxidants, and the other pigments that are in turmeric are supremely helpful.
So how would turmeric help with digestion and our gut health?
Well, that one, maybe it's somewhat antibacterial. So the unfriendlies that might give me dysentery are going to be not there. Or
Right.
they're going to be suppressed, depressed, undone. I speculate that if it will help promote the healthy balance in the gut.
And that would make sense when you think about, we just talked about there was no refrigeration, right?
Yeah, right.
In India. So, I mean, it is doing something to the food to keep it good to eat, right?
Yeah.
Whether it's just for a few hours or a day or two, right?
Yeah, unspoiled, right?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
It makes sense it would do the same thing in our stomach.
Right.
So any comment on the heart health part of turmeric? Probably helps with the cholesterols, keeping them.
Well, I actually haven't studied up on that to explain it. I would speculate by going on the limb saying, well, look, the heart is where most energy is expended, right? The mitochondria in your cells are converting glucose into energy. It's essentially burning, right? Oxygen burning. It's a whole lot like barbecue briquettes glowing.
Right.
So there are about 10,000 mitochondria per cell in the heart muscle tissue. So it's like a whole bunch of hot glowing little spots, right? So when we put the antioxidant into circulation, it will be sort of like having nice fat gloves for handling these briquettes.
Right.
Yeah. Preventing the burning to turn into a runaway oxidative stress event.
So we're never too hesitant to jump into controversy and that sort of stuff, but we are also cognizant of the fact that there's a lot of people still being censored, a lot of people still being banned. And so if you want to hear what we really think about stuff, then you can join us on Telegram right after the show at t.me/life&co. And with that, Martin, one of the things that we briefly touched on before we went on the air was you had a little bit to say about turmeric in general, because oftentimes people will say, oh, it's a miracle thing and I'm just going to take this and be better, when it's kind of like you've got an oil problem in your car and you fill it up with gas.
Yeah, sort of like that. Well, we're very complex beings. Somebody in Borneo followed an orangutan and found that inside of something like 6 days, that orangutan proved to be a traveling botanist. He ate 400 different species of plants. Now, count the number of species of plants that you ate. Myself, I had green onion, cucumber, endive, chive, daikon, radish, rice, I think carrot. I'm at 8. Okay. Now, I'm lucky because I also have Exula superfood in my freezer, where we have the Exula iridescens is made with 330 specific different plant items. So I'm covered. But I'm trying to tell you is that we humans and our ancestry was very broad spectrum eaters. They ate all kinds of stuff. I speculate that our ancestors ate grubs and eggs of birds and the birds themselves and squirrels and roots and this and that, whatever they could dig out and find, wherever they found it. So when you say turmeric is going to save me, well, somewhat, but you need to have all the other pigments and all the other minerals and whatnot. Like when you eat a plant, the plant has within it the minerals that were present in the soil that it was planted in. So if you eat carrots grown somewhere in Netherlands in the river delta of River Maas, it's going to be a very different carrot from the one grown in Arizona in the soils that have been enriched by the KT boundary explosion minerals where things grow very strong and big. Just presenting the differences. It will depend on the soil, it will depend on the climate, and it will depend on the way of preserving this, how it was treated before you ate it. So we have the type of the plant and where it was grown and so on. So if you decide that turmeric is the thing to save you, well, try and think in bigger, broader terms.
Cool. And George had a comment or a question. He said, is it anti-parasitic? Great question, George. Thank you.
Yeah, it probably is by the sense that it is really pungent. It's really strongly tasting, right? And parasites like bland stuff. Parasites love the bodies that eat a lot of pizza, which is pure calories, not that much stuff in it.
Cool.
So yeah, the more intense your food, the less likely you're going to need deworming. Speaking of deworming, I just learned not that long ago that wormwood is the plant that is used traditionally for all kinds of detoxes, especially and parasite detoxes. Well, the active ingredient in wormwood is artemisinin, and that's the alkaloid, right? The same way as what is it called?
Curcumin.
Yeah, curcumin is inside of this beautiful
Turmeric.
Yeah, that. Thanks for filling in the gap, Scott. Well,
that's
anyway,
why between the two of us, we can get a sentence put together.
Yeah, we can really. The teamwork is awesome. And so, what I was stuck on is artemisinin, and pharmaceutical companies like to find something that is effective, and then they screw around with the molecules, try to isolate a molecule, twist it a little bit, and patent it. Well, guess which popular drug has been modeled on artemisinin?
It's the worm paste.
Yeah, it's the horse paste that we were not supposed to be taking.
So yeah, it's amazing.
So go figure, right? So aspirin, the most popular drug on the planet, is modeled on white willow bark. Okay, the Valium is modeled on valerian root. I mean, go figure.
So all these drugs have a herbal
grandfather
that you could just use instead of them and not have side effects.
Yeah, it's not nearly as concentrated, right? So that's the challenge, right? Here, in the industrial method, you end up with a tiny pill. In the natural method, you need to boil a pound of root or something like that. But still.
So George had a comment, I guess it was. 7 days I took as a question mark the first time I looked at it, but he drinks wormwood 7 days a week.
Yeah. Well, I guess you're worm free.
Right.
I would imagine. Cool. George is now a healthy example of somebody who has been through the mill of wars and service and is finally living a good life. Much
Yeah.
deserved. Yep.
Glad to have you here with us, George.
All
Okay,
right.
before we move on to the next thing, I just want to let everybody know that Martin is an excellent health coach, and he really believes in helping people. And if you go to lifeenthusiast.com and you search for health coach, or you look at this URL we have up here, he will give you a 15-minute free consultation to go over whatever you want to go over before you actually get into any coaching. So strongly recommend that you reach out to Martin at your convenience, set up an appointment, and really get on your way to good
Right.
health.
And interestingly, there's not just Martin. I have presently 3 really capable younger generation people working with me. One's a herbalist, one's a nutritionist, and one knows a ton about physiology and pets, veterinarian tech. So we are well equipped to offer advice. Yeah.
And I keep forgetting that, so I'm glad you keep bringing it up.
Right. And what's interesting is this. We do not practice medicine. We do not treat or diagnose or do any of the stuff that the FDA would like to regulate. What we offer is education about how things work and what nutrition can do for you.
Yeah. Cool. So let's talk about one of the products on Life Enthusiast. Oh.
Yep. That's a good one.
And it's our Turmeric Power Plus, which is really, really potent.
There is this really cool company called North American Herb and Spice. And they were founded long ago by introducing oregano, the natural Turkish mountain oregano, the P73 oregano, to the world. This goes back probably 30 years. And they have grown since, and they have brought in all kinds of really awesome, pure plants. We have their extracts of ginger and turmeric and cilantro and fennel, and so we have actually there's much more to it. So we have the extracts of herbs and extracts of spices, and they actually also have a hemp product too. So anyway, all of the things that you would want to have in your nutrition is available in the North American Herb and Spice brand, condensed and concentrated into 1-ounce bottles, and it's just awesome. Like you can get a lemon extract, or you can get a I don't know what else would you like to cook with. Anyway, it's right there on the whole page, many items. So speaking of turmeric, it's because they are so well practiced in getting things done. It's carefully extracted. You need to have some organic solvent with which you're going to extract the solubles out of the plant. And you also want to blend it into some kind of a carrier, something fatty acid. And there it will be presented to you in a simple bottle. All you need to do is just squirt it in your tea or your meals or straight to your mouth if you want to do it that way. Yeah, we should mention chai. Chai is an Indian version of drinking a lot of herbs and spices all at once.
It's a warm drink in India.
Yeah. Now, there are
Tea.
2 versions of chai, the original Indian version and then the colonial English version, where we actually start with black tea, something like lovely Darjeeling tea that they planted up there in the foothills of the Himalayas, and then add to it coconut oil and all the different spices like cloves and I don't remember what all is in there, but it's a good mix. All antioxidants, I might say.
Cool. Well, that's actually a great segue because next week we're going to be talking about the benefits of cloves.
Awesome.
So you brought that up.
I didn't even look ahead.
So
All right.
golden milk, there's a lot of recipes for golden milk, which is turmeric and a whole bunch of other things all boiled and warmed together, which is excellent. And all that stuff sounds pretty powerful. I want you to just reiterate one point you made before, and that was turmeric works best in combination with other things, right? So
fat
and black pepper would be another thing that you would want to include.
Well, that's an interesting thing. So they have been selling piperine, the extract of black pepper, with it, but it's really not that intelligent because black pepper is an irritant. And so when you add that to it, it will cause an irritation. It will definitely cause an excitement in the gut. So you may absorb more of it, maybe. But it's a curious thing. For example, my body does not like black pepper one bit.
I like it a lot now. I didn't like it growing up, but now I really appreciate it.
All right.
So I'm always putting black pepper in with my turmeric.
Right. Well, it's fine. It's all fine. It's a stimulant that causes this stirring up of stagnant things, right? So it's a good thing.
And one of the things that you often talk about, Martin, is try stuff and then watch what happens. Don't just take stuff and then be oblivious to any results. Yeah. Take it, see how you feel, move on, adjust, change things.
Yeah, do more of what works.
Yeah. Thank you, George. Yeah, we've come to the end of our time, which means we are moving over to Uncensored on Telegram, which is t.me/life&co. Come over there and we'll tell you what we really think and answer all of your questions and cover stuff that we can't cover here without getting banned.
We've already had yet another of our videos on YouTube hit with you can't say that.
Yeah. And we don't know what we said because they took the video down.
Yeah. All right.
So thank you, Martin, for taking time out of your busy day to share all this information. Yeah. And thank you, everybody, for joining us. We really appreciate you a lot. And we'll see you over on Telegram right now. Bye for now.
Bye-bye.